Hi, this is Mel. I hope all of you are doing awesome. Today I'm going to do another ghost story video, and this is a true story. So, in India, there's a place, a small village kind of place that is very haunted. Not the entire village, but just a train station. Now, this station was built around 1962, and then about 1968 the station got closed. And this was in a very village kind of area. Not many people were traveling that way anyway, but the train stopped coming, and whatever train used to pass through that railway station, then the railway station name was Begun Kodor. Now, whatever train used to go, the train almost used to fly through that. Like, it will go really fast, and it never stopped. And it never stopped after 1968. But before that, it used to stop. Then it stayed closed for 14 years after that. After 1968, stayed closed for 14 years, and then the political leaders decided to open it till 5 p.m. because it might bring some business. But that railway station, after 5 p.m., any train passes through that area used to zoom out, like really speed up. And most of the passengers who were sitting on the train, before the station came, they would close their windows and just close their eyes, not open their eyes. And the station train will zoom through the station for a minute or two, but nobody dared to stand by the door or the window or look outside. Now the problem came if somebody looked. So nobody kept the windows open, so the inside won't be visible, and nobody dared to look at it. So this was the routine which everybody knew, whoever traveled through that area. So then there was this person was going to do some business in that area for some real estate reason. So most of the people on that area sold their houses, and they didn't used to live for around this area where the disturbance was the most. So this guy was going to do some business over there, buy up some properties for a store or something. So he went, and even though he tried to go early, but somehow he got late. And after 5 p.m. there was nobody. So when he just a little bit farther than the actual station, way farther, about a mile, he went to a store, and it was just, they sold a little bit bread and snack and tea, like a stationery store. So he drank some tea, and then he said he wants to go there. And there were some old houses, and he was planning to buy them and remodel and try to resell. And the houses were getting sold down cheap because nobody wanted to live there. So this guy thought that he will just buy it and flip the properties and stuff like that. So then he found that there was no train was stopping there, and morning time train stopped for a second, and people just jump out of the train, and there was nobody actually getting off the train, but it did stop because after 1968 it was closed for 14 years. Then the government decided to open up and it'll stop for a second, and if anybody is stupid enough to get off that station they will, and most people didn't because nobody wanted to come there. So but before 5 there were like some people who wants to visit, or some people who are crazy enough to go visit a haunted place and take pictures. They would do that. Usually very young people who didn't care much or didn't know the severity of the problem. The biggest enemy for mankind is the ignorance. So there were this guy who wanted to buy some of those properties. The person who was on there, he told that okay, make sure you, whatever you do, you go in the daytime and don't go after 5 o'clock, don't come. So anyway, he realizes since the train doesn't stop, I will just go by my scooter, two-wheeler scooty, and then I'll check out the place in the daytime and then I'll come. So he went in his two-wheeler and he reached there around 3-4 o'clock in the evening. Got a little late, but then he checked out the area, and when he was checking, even though he went from the store, eating, drinking, using the bathroom, everything, but then he felt like he wasn't feeling too well. He was just thirsty or hungry or had to go bathroom, everything at the same time, and he just didn't feel good. So he checked, and the houses he was checking from outside, most of the houses were vacant, and people just left vacant houses. So he had no problem getting in and checking. He just checked, and some of them people did vandalism, took whatever they could. And so he checked them, and then he wasn't feeling good at all. He used the bathroom on the street side. There was nobody there to say no. And then he tried to start his scooty, which won't start. And then he was like, didn't see anybody, but he started praying to Lord Hanuman Chalisa. And he had that with him, so he started praying and keep trying. Then the scooty start, and as he was coming with his scooty, and he saw a train coming really, really fast, because trains used to zoom out through that area. So he saw a train after 5 p.m. train would zoom out and nobody will get out. So they're zooming out, and he saw in front of a train a lady is running. And this lady was running faster than the train. And then he saw that, and he just didn't believe his eyes what he saw. But anyway, he thought that he's not feeling too well, and he just maybe seeing things. So then anyway, he was happy the scooty started after praying to Hanuman Chalisa a few times. And then he just came to the same tea shop, and then he explained the guy what he saw, and he said, like, I saw a woman who was running faster than the train. So then this guy said, oh, you better go home quick and be sure to go to a priest and do a cleaning for yourself, because whoever witnessed that woman running faster than the train, they all died, because when they see that woman, they don't live much longer. So you quickly go and do a cleanup on yourself and continuously read your Hanuman Chalisa daily. So He took off from there. He went home and continuously read Hanuman Chalisa for a month and did a lot of cleaning. And every night he used to wake up with severe nightmare from that woman running in front of the train. So the legend, there's a story that this woman who her husband did infidelity, and she was so sad that she committed suicide in the train. And since then people witnessed her running before the train, in front of the train, and she was extremely angry with everybody, and so people would get sick and die. And now between the time of 1962 to 1968, while the station was open, many people who worked there as a station master, there was a tiny little building as a station. It wasn't even big, like very tiny little building where they sold the tickets, and there were a few chairs where the passengers sat, and that's all. And there was like hardly any passenger, maybe one or two would just come without knowing the story or anything. So then that time, whoever worked, they would see that the woman running, and they would see that continuously 3-4 times, and each time they'll see she's running. Sometimes they'll see she got run over by the train, but she's still running. So then they got really sick, and then they died. So then there was nobody to work as a station master. So that's why they made like the station would be open on. So first they closed it for 14 years, then they opened it just for a few hours, and there was only one window to sell the ticket, and there was not many customers to buy the ticket because the surrounding area, everybody abandoned their houses. They tried to sell it, but nobody would buy it. So they abandoned their houses and went away because they were all getting sick and dying. So the power of supernatural is really powerful, and especially when something mishap happens to them and they have so much of hate, anger, the negativity. That's why I call negative energy. So negativity, so then it just affects anybody who comes in contact. And another thing, the ghost wall in contact does not mean you have to be present. In contact means as long as you see or you think, because there is no time limit in their way, there is no limit for distance, so they could be everywhere. So as long as you think, as long as you see, means you're into their world. So people tried not to look at the station, not to see anything, close their eyes, so do not make any. And when we die, actually, anything that we think of presence in front of us. So I know somebody who died due to an accident and then came back after a few hours. First, people thought that that person died, and then the person was back a few hours later, didn't actually die. So that person said that, how was the experience of the death? So the person said that the experience of the death was, after they died, they were actually very happy. They were not sad. But after they died, like everything, there was no speech. Everything worked through intuition. So if they thought of something, it will present. So it all starts from the thought, and that's what we call it, the law of attraction. And think, and before going to sleep, think. Now, how does that work? Because that's how we are in reality. When we die, then we think something like this person who died actually, and then came back, which the person had a lot of tapeworms in the stomach. And then the doctor gave a medicine, and the person was only 10 years old. Then the doctor gave a medicine because of the tapeworm. There used to be a lot of stomach pain, indigestion, not being able to eat, vomiting, and the worm, when they got really too much, a person was losing a lot of weight and just not feeling good. So there were 2 doctors who gave some medicine to kill the tapeworm. Now this medicine, the person was severely full of tapeworms. Now everything has a healing crisis. So as these many tapeworms are at the same time dying because of 2 medicines, the healing crisis became so severe. The person's mouth, like foam started coming out, eyes got rolled up, and everybody thought the person actually died. And then doctors been called and they checked the pulse and they said, this person is dead. But the mother refused to give up the child's mother said, I will wait the whole night with the dead body. She said, I will sit by the body. So she kept holding the hands of this person. And she held the hand and prayed to Lord Hanuman. And she prayed all night, like, give me back my child, give me back my child. She hasn't done anything wrong. So then by the morning, the child wakes up and started vomiting. When the child vomiting, big tapeworms coming out. Then went to use the toilet, lot of tapeworm coming out. It was like big balls of tapeworm coming, hundreds and hundreds, dead ones, live ones. So person was so badly infested with tapeworms. So then when the person recovered a little bit, people asked, like, the person was dead for about few hours. There was like no consciousness. Like doctors already said the person is dead. You should just do your business of a dead person, what needs to be done, a dead child. So, but mother refused to take that. And she said, no, I will bring it back through God's prayer, which she did and which worked. So then the child said that when the child was going to the trance of the death, it felt like the whole world shutting down, everything shutting down. It felt extremely calming. But then everything the child thought, like child thought of a snake will be in front. Child thought of a tiger would be in front. The child was very scared and then realized that if I'm thinking about something, it's coming in front of me. So I should just only think of good things. So then child, after a few hours, the child learned that thought what was bringing. So child started thinking about her mom, her dad, her brother, all the family members, her grandmother, everything. And then as she thinking about it, bam, she came back into her body. So everything starts from the thought. So the same thing applies when somebody died in some tragedy and then became ghosts. So as the people who are alive sees them and starts thinking about that, then this ghost totally becomes present in their life because they gave the thought. Thought is what counts. So those people, when the train zoom out of that area, they refuse to look out because whoever saw that lady running in front of the train and killing herself were dying. because then it seems like the lady's ghost came in their body. So this guy, he prayed for a month. He went to a priest, got cleaned up, used a lot of crystals, and blocked totally thinking about that incident, and used some therapy to forget hypnotism and all that thing. And it worked. And then he decided never ever to go there and buy those cheap or just empty houses to get it for dirt cheap price. So he realized that he shouldn't buy them, he shouldn't fix them, he shouldn't sell it to anybody, because whoever he will fool them and sell them, they will suffer just like him. Nobody could live there. That's why the houses were empty and people left their houses. So this is a true story. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I'll see you with many, many more. Bye-bye.